Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today I'm going to do a full race recap of the 2024 Ski to Sea relay race. This race starts on Mount Baker and finishes in Bellingham Bay, both of which are in Washington State, USA. As you can see, there is a XC and downhill ski on the top of the mountain, road bike down the mountain, a canoe along the Nooksack River, a very muddy cyclocross, and then finally a Sea Kayak finish. So this is me walking to the start of the race. The downhill skier has to wait in this same area for the handoff, and also the runner too.
You ain't first in class.
I've done a couple of races in my years, and this was the first one that started without a little 3, 2, 1 countdown or on your marks. All good though. A good YouTuber would have been prepared regardless. Anyways, as you can see, there are hundreds of people everywhere. There are actually 500 teams, and I unfortunately lined up towards the back of the pack. So I had the tall task of trying to pass people. But as you can see, the start is so crowded, you basically can't skate, so you can't pass without running over people's skis. All good though, we got over the opening hill. Boom, this guy just tumbled, and basically everyone has to funnel to each side. The snow was really slushy in some sections, so boom, you can be on your butt before you can say if or and. Now what I want to tell you is a little side story about the pineapple guy. This prickly little fruit was impossible to pass for a full kilometer, I swear. Here you can see I try to make a pass, but I can't close the gap. That's on me though. Next, he is in my way again here. Then he kind of pulls away a bit by doing a little classic hop maneuver thing. Wasn't prepared for that. And then finally it opened up here and I tried to make a pass on the inside left, but this guy falls on the left. Boom. I swerve right to pass, and boom, a guy comes in on the right to block. Okay, we'll come back to the pineapple guy in a small bite. Let's talk about my friend Dirt now. You saw him at the start line, and here he is passing me. He's a lot stronger than I am on the skis, so I was trying my best to beat him for bragging rights.
Come on, Dirt.
Oh, I got it.
Thanks to my quick thinking, I avoided that collision entirely. Now back to Pineapple Guy. Here he is again, just being an absolute pylon. But I didn't give up, and I focused on my own planks, and I eventually saw the gap of all gaps open up in front of me. Here I go right, and it is perfect because boom, this guy with the red hoodie naturally blocks Pineapple Guy in. I was finally through, and I never saw that guy again. So we're only about a third of the way through the race at this point, and I'm feeling pretty tired already. The hills are no joke, especially in the slushy snow. There is this little forest section, and it really bottlenecks up again to the point you have to stand for a bit.
Yeah, use your right foot like that. There you go.
I think that guy should have skipped leg day and gone for a few more practice skis, but that's okay. Shout out to the guy in the basketball jersey here. He reminds me of Woody Harrelson from White Man Can't Jump. I just discovered that they made a remake with Jack Harlow in 2023. Does anybody know if it's any good? Anyways, at the halfway point of the race here, I was just like, what's poppin'? And just trying to gain some more spots on people. Oh, and here we are again with another big time backup. I was behind leg day again somehow, but he took my tip from before and was fine now. This view here is kind of cool. As you can see the big crisscross of the path.
It's on your right. Never mind.
Okay, so maybe I do belong in the middle of the pack. Huge lens wipe there, needed that big time.
Finally, some down.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Way better.
There's so much more cow.
Yeah.
So the last quarter of the race is mostly downhill, which is very, very welcome. With the slushy snow, it's hard to get going super fast, but it is still nice to have some open space to ski. If you haven't been to Mount Baker before, this whole clip is not doing it justice for how pretty it is. I highly recommend coming here to downhill ski if you have the time. My final target almost totally ate it on this turn, and you can see me here doing some very ungraceful power skating. Shout out to our Chief Logistics Officer, Kento, for filming that part. At this point, I knew I wouldn't catch him, but I totally forgot to tap my timing chip on the sensor pad thing to the right. Fortunately for the first leg, the race bib has a chip on it too, so I think you are good either way if you don't tap it.
Javis! Phew! Let's go, buddy. Good luck.
Hey, I'm Javis. I had one of the ski legs for the Ski to Sea relay. Not a whole lot of downhill in it. as far as time-wise. Jalen came in. There was a lot of people. The transitionary section of it was a little hectic. A lot of people kind of anticipating that their cross-country skier was a little faster than they were. I was one of them. I kind of stressed out because I didn't think I got down in time in the right spot. It ended up being okay. Jalen came in. As soon as that happened, I was just kind of going up the escalator on the mountain, and it was tough. I just saw this one person kind of early on, and was kind of laying in the snow, making a snow angel and eating snow because probably definitely dehydrated in the process. Holding the skis, climbing up in ski boots is never the ideal situation I want to find myself in, being a downhill skier.
Oh, Joe.
Oh, thank you. I owe you a second.
Got to the downhill portion, and then that's where the fun kicked in. Unfortunately, it was only probably like 2 minutes, but definitely a ton of fun and the cherry on the top for the hike up.
Is Javas good at skiing? Of course he is. That man can do anything he wants to. Flawless at everything he does.
Golly. That's not good. That's not good. Don't tell my team.
My poles were strapped into my arms, but one of them just caught stuck into the ground too much and came off my arm, so I had to backtrack a little bit, which is not ideal in the downhill ski portion. Definitely felt like I passed more people than passed me, but I could have been dreaming.
That was a lot of fun. Do you ski?
No,
Me
I
neither.
tried snowboarding for like 2 days. It's probably the most sore I've ever been in my entire life.
That's because
I just kept falling.
the falling and the
I'd like to try skiing though. Devin says that I might like cross country.
cross country. Yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hey. Go for it, buddy. Thank you.
The running leg. Our team was aptly named the Humble Hundles because I am Hundle, and I got humbled on the run. Every time I looked down at my watch, I felt pretty good,
It's good work.
but every time I looked up, as I got passed by 120 somethings, I figured I was the old guy on the course.
What am I supposed to say about Hundle running? It's a big man running. He doesn't seem like a runner to me. I don't know, he's a big dude, man.
Hey, I'm Patrick. I did the road cycling part. Overall was a pretty good experience. At the very beginning, obviously it was really cold. It was raining. I had about 4 hours before I did my part of the race. I didn't realize people actually brought tents up there, which is pretty crazy. Never really experienced that before, so that was cool to see. First 10 kilometers of the race was probably the one of the hardest parts. I was wet during the whole time. My toes were frozen, couldn't feel them. I was a little behind, didn't go at the start line right away. I saw this one guy off his bike and I decided to help him or see how he was doing. And he immediately got on his bike he got on his bike and immediately when he started going off, he fell. And I felt kind of bad about it. You alright? Yeah, okay. Okay, you good? Okay. Be careful. On the left.
I was notably impressed by the team's grit and perseverance. Pat endured the rain for hours on a heavier commuter bike.
Kilometers. Almost. Can't feel my big toes and my pinkies. Pinky toes. Okay. Maybe 48 kilometers into the race, there was shirtless guys with American flags painted on their stomachs, and they were holding these red Solo cups with beer in it, and they were passing it off to the bikers, and I grabbed one and chugged it, and it was a great time.
All right. All right, let's go.
Oh, we're recording. And you know, it was tough at some points. We thought about just giving up. You know, do we really need to make it to the sea? What's wrong with the mountains and the river that we're in? At some point, you just gotta let the dog.
All right, we passed one person.
Let the dog take you over, you know, and we just unleash the dog in us. Just gotta let that dog out. So that's what we did. I'm really proud of our accomplishments, and can't wait for next year.
Good job, guys.
Oh my God, my legs.
And we are off with the long-awaited cyclocross bike leg. For those that don't know, cyclocross is kind of a hybrid between road biking and mountain biking. It is popular in Europe, and often the courses are super muddy and they have obstacles to maneuver. More on the mud later, because this was a truly classically muddy course. We started this leg of the race after the time cutoff, so basically what that means is the race organizers give the kayak racers that have not departed yet an early release, because they can't risk having to wait around for all the bikers to come in and then for the kayakers to finish as well. The concept makes sense, but our team wasn't even doing all that terrible, so it is a bit demoralizing. To put it into perspective, over 100 teams got early released, so we weren't too bad overall. But now let's talk cycling. With any gravel route, there can be loosely packed sections, so it's really key to mind your cornering. I was still really set on trying to pass people and post a good time just for personal glory at this point. There is an overpass section here that required me to slow down and dismount. The next section has more mud, of course, and it became really challenging to navigate. As you can guess, it rained the whole day, and at this point, probably 300 cyclists had already wreaked havoc on the trail. Us stragglers and slow people were left with a full mud bath to traverse. Then we approached the Great Mud Lake section, which helped get the upper parts of my bike all muddy. Thankfully, I went with wet lube on my chain for the race, and I think that made a huge difference with the amount of water on the course. Next, I set my sights on the gray guy up ahead, but we were all putting in so much power to go so slow because the wet mud would suck up all of the traction. Gandalf the Grey let me pass there, which was good, and then more lakes ahead. I opted to just carry my bike this time, which was way better than wasting energy to spin out the wheels at walking pace. I really would love to ride this course in dry conditions because I think this would be a super fast section if it was dry. When I look back on the course footage, I am wondering if it would have been faster to try to hug the edges of the trail where there is grass. I wasn't really thinking too strategically, but I would imagine some people had success with that approach. Now this is where the real fun begins because I get totally locked up in the mud and I'm unable to even ride. I end up jogging and walking for about 1 kilometer or so, which was not very fun at all and not the reason why I signed up for this race. While we watch me struggle, let's hear more from our Chief Logistics Officer, Kento.
It was a great pleasure to play a pivotal role as Chief Logistics Operator of Team 136. It was a hard job to support the team by holding excess articles of clothing and phones, pinning team numbers crookedly on shirts, and navigating our vehicle onto an active race route. I also made sure the post-race meeting spot served beer and thus prevented Akshay from having an aneurysm. Javis operated at max heart rate for 40 entire minutes. Jalen completed 2 completely different legs of the race on the same day. Handel managed not to destroy his knees despite running the entirely downhill route. Mike and Terry YouTubed how to canoe before their long river journey. And Akshay stayed afloat on the choppy seas and avoided a Coast Guard rescue.
Okay, I'm back. So I thought I was doing pretty good with the jogging, passed a few people, and then this blue guy absolutely blows by me. Holy cow. And then a few seconds later, another guy blows right by me. But you can rest easy because let me tell you, this was not the last we would see these guys again.
You trying to pass?
Okay, can someone explain to me how this guy was riding? His tires seem a bit thinner than mine, but not sure how that would help. He was also in a super low gear and he was edging against the grass, which is something maybe I should have tried to do. Well, again, this would not be the last time we saw that guy either. Next, there is a road section, which was very much welcome at this point. They closed off the full lane of the road, which was great for making safe passes on people at higher speeds. I'm proud to say that I passed several people on this section and nobody passed me. I think that my Zwift membership is finally paying off despite the monthly cost increase, because I went straight to the wattage cottage here. From there, I just went back into my drops, locked in, and was hand down, man down. You can see my speed started to increase a bunch. But nonetheless, this is a cyclocross leg, so it was back to the trails pretty quickly.
Yeah, this is nice. Yeah, yeah. Oh. Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
So this was a great example of how you should not race. I was chatting with a guy and going decently quick. He was on my left backside and I took a corner into some sudden loose gravel. I needed to cut back into the left side of the trail to avoid the loose gravel, but he was in the way. Not his fault. I had to brake quickly and stop, which fortunately was fine because it was just some grass, but a good learning opportunity to not let someone be on your blind spot area.
Coming up on your left. Oh, sorry, bud.
So here again, I made another super dumb mistake by riding on the left side in this guy's blind spot area. I called out the pass, which is good, but I couldn't see the fork in the road because it was blocked by the bush. Totally my fault, and thankfully the guy was very nice about it and didn't get mad. Anyways, a bit more mud here again, and I really wish I rode over that pipe thing because it looks so small on camera now and it's kind of embarrassing that I didn't. This next section is pretty cool because it is more classical cyclocross riding with the mud, tight turns, and punchy little climbs.
Go ahead. Good job. Good job. Up, 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 up. Good job.
Again, I have to say these little hills felt so much steeper in person, and the mud takes a lot of confidence out of you because you're worried about your tires losing traction and slipping. That being said, it is super fun to do, and I would for sure consider doing a local cyclocross race now. It is super impressive when people can take the downhill 90-degree turns at fast speed. I wanted to go full gas on this race, but I ended up going full Haas. Never go full Haas. At this point, I started to wonder if Akshay had started the Kayak Leg. Had he forgotten his race bib? What about his GoPro? Well, he did start the race, but he forgot the ladder. Now we have the Stairway to Heaven section because I took this section so unbelievably hard for some reason. At the top, I started to get blurry eyes from fatigue. I figured that I couldn't let myself walk, but bikes are actually pretty heavy, believe it or not, and they aren't really designed to be carried over your shoulder upstairs. Just for old time's sakes, I went back into the drops for some more hand down, man down. At this point, there's nobody to pass. The time didn't matter since we had early release, but I wanted to really feel like I left it all out there on the course. You do get a very brief view of the ocean as you come around this second to last turn, but I of course failed to capture it very well on my camera. I recommend checking out Bellingham Bay sometime. It is really scenic. Finally, I came into the finish line and I was greeted by my big cousin Javis. Overall, a really cool race leg, and I would recommend it to anybody who likes to bike.
Oh boy, he might fall. No, he's good. Good job, Akshay.
I thought Akshay was going to be the weakest leg. He's an athlete. I don't know if he's ever kayaked before. Akshay should have been much faster.
There he is. Akshay. Final leg of the race. He's got to go all the way over there. Over there. Where did he? Oh, he's still there. Good luck, Akshay.
Akshay, finish strong. Finish hard.
Wait, can you do it again?
Yeah, go again.
How do I say as long, whatever you set your mind to? What's the saying? Like you can do whatever you set your mind to. What is the? I'm asking you actually. What's the saying? You know what I'm talking about?
He can do whatever he sets his mind to.
He can do whatever he sets his mind to. Yeah. Okay. Go again.